Hey guys, welcome in. So today we're taking a look at a recent interview USC quarterback Caleb Williams did with Pro Football Focus. There's a lot of great stuff in here that I really find interesting, and I feel like some of the things in this story really show what makes Caleb Williams so unique as both a football player and a competitor in general. Shout out to Max Chadwick over at PFF for putting this story together. He does a lot of great work, and if you want to read this article in full for yourself, I will have it linked down in the description. And before we get into the video today, if you guys are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help support the channel in an even bigger way, you can do so over on my Patreon for only $1 a month. Thank you all so much for the support. Thanks for tuning in, and let's dive into it. Okay, so before we get into everything Caleb said, I would like to talk about what PFF's grading system thinks of Caleb. In Caleb's freshman year at Oklahoma, PFF made Caleb the highest true freshman quarterback ever at PFF with a phenomenal grade of 91.3. Caleb was their #1 overall player on the PFF Best 101 Players list for 2022. And PFF has also said that if Caleb were eligible for this year's draft, he would undoubtedly be the first overall pick. So safe to say that PFF loves Caleb's game. But moving on to the conversation itself, Caleb reveals that aside from USC, he also took visits to Wisconsin, Michigan, UCLA, and LSU. And if you recall, reports were coming out at that time that Caleb was down to USC and LSU. Also including the fact that Caleb attended LSU camps while he was in high school. LSU was in serious play for Caleb, and he could have absolutely ended up there last year, which in my opinion pretty much guarantees LSU is a playoff team and likely makes the national title game last season. And God knows what USC does at quarterback in the scenario, as Jackson Dart was leaving regardless because he was hurt that USC was courting another quarterback at all. Just a real crazy scenario that changes the course of college football forever. But Caleb goes on to talk about his goals regarding the NFL draft and the Heisman Trophy. He says, "It's a goal of mine to go #1, just like it was a goal of mine to win the Heisman Trophy. But I wouldn't say I'm focused on either of those things. I don't even know if I'm declaring after this season because there are so many things in college that I haven't accomplished yet." Now, this is a recurring thing that Caleb has said. I've heard him say a few times that he has not ruled out coming back to SC in 2024. Now, do I think there's a real chance he actually does stay? No, but it is interesting that he feels the need to say things like that. Caleb then goes on to talk about this year's failure to reach the college football playoffs, saying, "I'm circling every game on our schedule. It bothers me a lot that I'm heading into my 3rd season and I haven't been to the playoff yet. I felt like I was 1 game away both years, and this year I felt like I was 10 seconds away. You can see how much pain I'm in. And I'm not talking about physical pain. I want to get to the playoff and win a national championship. That's the reason why I play football. I don't care about the other stuff. I want to go out there, compete, and dominate." So you can tell that Caleb is getting a little fiery there. You saw the pain on his face after both Utah losses and the bowl game loss as well. Caleb then goes on to talk about a blueprint for success and how winning helps everybody on the team, not just him. He says, "You look at that 2019 LSU team. They went undefeated and won the national championship. Obviously, Joe Burrow went first in that draft, but everybody got drafted. That's what I want. Winning doesn't only help myself, but it helps my other teammates get drafted and up their stock." So that's just some great perspective there from Caleb. It shows why he's such a great leader, and he is absolutely right. Look at how many players from Georgia got drafted last year, or LSU in 19, or USC in 05. And USC hasn't owned a draft like that in a very long time. That's something our program needs, in my opinion. Okay, now we're getting into the controversial part of the article. Controversy meaning Utah and Oklahoma fans are butthurt about it on Twitter. Max asked Caleb about him being comped to Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Caleb responds by saying, "I'd say in some ways, yeah, we're similar. I'd say in other ways I do things differently than him. Maybe I'm faster or stronger, or maybe he can throw farther. I watch guys like him and Aaron Rodgers and take things from them because when I get to that level, I'll possibly be better than they are." Okay, so there's a lot of triggered people on Twitter about that quote, but what part about that quote is wrong? Is it not possible that Caleb is better than Rodgers and Mahomes? Of course it's possible. What makes Caleb so special, or one of the things that makes Caleb special, is his awareness. He's aware of how talented and skilled he is. That can be seen as a bad thing or detrimental to a young player, but Caleb really knows how to harness it. Quick question, who's the worst fan base, Utah or Oklahoma? Let me know down in the comments. Okay, moving on to another quote that triggered the fine folk down in Norman, Oklahoma. Caleb discussed his mentality and approach to the game, saying, "I want to destroy you. I want to make you as small as Popper to the best of my ability when I play against you. Whether it's football, dodgeball, basketball, lifting weights, it doesn't matter. I'm always competing. I have to sign cards and helmets sometimes. I'm even competing with the person handing me the helmets. I'm trying to beat him before he can hand me the next thing to sign." Okay, so none of that actually surprises me. If you watched Caleb in his very first game at USC against Rice, he breaks off a big run to the left side of the field, and some poor Rice defensive back tries to come up and make a big hit on Caleb, and he just bounces off him and gets run over. And Caleb just stares him down almost like he's saying, how dare you think you can challenge me? From that moment, you could just tell this guy was different, and we haven't really had a guy like that at SC in my lifetime. Dart sort of had a little bit of that, but whether it's Keaton or JT or Sammy Darnold or Cody Kessler or Max Brown, we haven't had a guy that gets after opponents the way Caleb does. And in my opinion, that mentality is as important for Caleb as his arm, legs, or any physical traits he has. It makes him him and really separates him from the pack. This was a great read, and it really gives you a window into Caleb and his thought process on a lot of things. Again, major shout out to Max Chadwick and PFF for the phenomenal article, but that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.